Greetings, friends and neighbors. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. I am waiting on my Rockfin stream. Let's see. For anybody who is over on Rockfin, the stream should start in about a minute. It takes a little while. I don't know why it takes a couple of minutes for the gears to get going at Rockfin. Let me make sure that yeah, that's all on. That is all on, so it should be fine. But what's going up, y'all? Going up, going on. We're going up. But the early chatters are in, as usual. Thank you for being here. Donald McCarthy says global dimming is elegant and true, no ifs and no buts. Okay. Well, yes, I'm sure that you all feel that maybe the title of my video is a bit controversial. And maybe might be me sticking my neck out a little bit, but guess what? I'm going to do it. I want to talk about it because I've talked about this before. This is not a new subject for me. What's up, Raza? Thank you for the super chat. TCR Galaxy, CO2 going up. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Thunder snow. G. Demer said that you had thunder snow. I have heard of that, actually. Fire nados and thunder snow. That is, that's what happens when the planet gets hot. Gets real hot. Irk1 says, I'm with Tim Garrett. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm with Tim Garrett too. Claybomb says, I'm interested. Hopefully G dimming is bunk. Well, I just want to talk about the evidence that global dimming is bunk. The idea of, and not to say that it wasn't a worthy idea or theory before. Let me see. Is Rockfin started yet? Come on, Rockfin. Here we go. Okay, Rockfin is on. For anybody who's on Rockfin, we got one person hanging out on Rockfin. If anybody wants to join me on Rockfin, I'm on Rockfin. Welcome to Black Bear News. Yeah, the idea that, you know, and global dimming. So let's just get into it. Global dimming, the concept. A lot of it was predicated on the ground stop of airplanes after 9/11. And I believe that Guy McPherson has also referenced the heat wave in Europe being attributed to a lot of coal plants being shut down around that time, around the same time. So, you know, possibly a lack of particulates leading to a rise in temperatures. You know, was another, I guess, theory to put in the wall, you know, the wall of evidence around global dimming. Rockfin should be on. Urban Hermit, it's on now. Urban Hermit, there you are. You love the No Frills chat app. Yeah, I can't actually reply to you, I don't think. If there's a way, I can't figure it out. But when I figure it out, I'll say hi in the chats on Rockfin. Let me see. 9/11 inside job. I don't know what does that have to do with anything. You know, I'm talking about, you know, things and not assumption, not weird false equivalencies and, you know, whatever, things that aren't related. That's not what I'm doing. Basil Peterson, bunk or debunk? That is a question. Well, listen, Here's the thing. There's no lack of evidence in my mind that climate change, global heating, global warming is, you know, we're in a really bad place with that, right? The sixth mass extinction is still continuing apace. We've got major, major problems. We are going over the falls. We're going over the cliff, and it doesn't look like anybody is, really interested in slowing it down anytime soon. Raza, thank you so much for the super chats, sir. I appreciate you. So I'm not. The thing is when Richard Monroe, jet fuel is low sulfur. Okay. all of a sudden, all the science comes out around why we haven't dimmed. So here's the thing: is that global dimming was a concept that was on some levels proven, and that's the thing is that what happened with the temperatures going up around the ground stop after 9/11. I see clay bomb. Sorry, my bad. I see what you're getting to. At the ground stop after 9/11, that was evidence that, right? That was somebody measured the temperatures and the temperatures did go up. So, the conclusion was that from the lack of particulates from Richard Monroe from jet fuel, okay, whether it's low sulfur or not or whatever, that was one of the factors in the evidence for global dimming was that when there was this massive ground stop after 9/11, that the lack of particulates or sulfur or pollution or whatever you want to call, and we could probably even add, I would like to add, jet planes cause clouds, right? The contrails, the naturally occurring contrails. They are persistent contrails, right? They stay in the air for a long time. They cause clouds. They spread out, and I'm not even going to go into that subject right now because it's a whole other subject. So let's just take the naturally occurring contrails that come out of jet planes. If you ground jet planes for a week, you lose not just the particulates and the pollution from the planes, you lose the clouds that those planes produce, right? So, the evidence pointed at that time that the temperatures went up and people said, hey, I think the temperatures are going up because we lack this particulate cover, right? And I don't know that there was any definitive study around the 2003 heat wave in Europe. Guy McPherson has alluded to the fact that the shutting down of all the coal plants, I don't know if there's a study around that or there's actually definitive proof that that's part of the heat wave. How do I get out of super chat? Are you stuck in super chat, Raza? Thank you for the super chats. I don't know. Hopefully we can get unstuck from super chat. Or if these are intentional, thank you for the super chats. I don't know if there was an actual study that concluded that the heat wave in Europe was somehow attached to the closing down of coal plants. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is this year we had a global drop in air traffic and air travel and industrial activity, right? So it wasn't just the planes. A lot of industrial activity went way down. Probably a drop in even shipping, some of the shipping services, just because people were shut down. Society was shut down hard for at least a month or more. In some places, so there was just a lack of activity in general, industrial or otherwise. And air travel at one point went down to 90 or more than 90%. Globally. So this year was a good chance for everyone to say, here comes the lack of global dimming. And Guy McPherson, yes, he did at the beginning of the whole thing say that there was going to be this big spike in temperatures, or he didn't say there was going to be. So let me not put words into people's mouths. He said he wouldn't be surprised if there was a large spike in temperatures, and that that would be that. We would just see this massive spike in temperatures, and things would fall apart very quickly and spin out of control, and that would be the end of we would all be gone in 6 months or whatever, or by the end of the year. Here it's November 17th, guys. Are we having problems with regular old climate change, or with regular old global heating? Of course we are. Of course we are. Is climate change accelerating apace? Of course it is. Right? That's not what I'm saying. And I feel like some people get real offended when I talk about global dimming, but there is climate change is continuing its destruction. So there's no doubt. Let's just go ahead and look at some things while I'm talking about this, because I don't want to just hold forth. This is a global temperature 12-month running mean from 1980. So, climate, look at this. Look at the trend line. And this is climate change. So this is pre-2011, going up, or 2001, excuse me, pre-9/11, pre-2020, pre-2003. So that, here's the high, the trend line on the high tip of this. Youch. I think this is 2016 here. Here we are now. Now, it's very hot. This is climate change, right? Here's, if you want to go a median line, here's, a median line, wham, whammo. This is going in one direction, and that direction is up. So, no doubt that climate change is a very, very scary and real thing indeed. Here's another global land and ocean temperature anomalies. This is for May, but this is from 1880. So this is a monthly average for May from NOAA. Look at here. Look at here. Look at how bad. Look what climate change is doing. Here. There's no doubt. There can be no doubt that climate change is a very real and ugly and scary thing. Right, and we're just below the high. We're gonna probably come in second place to a high temperature record. Let's move on. Laptev sea ice, obviously super bad. Not a good look for Laptev sea ice. The Arctic is continuing to warm. 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as the rest of the planet. Right. I guess I could do this. Right. This is not good. This is from, one of Zach Labe's graphs. I'm just showing you what climate change is doing. This is I don't know if you want to, I think people are trying to point to just the fact that climate change is continuing to get worse and worse as evidence that the global dimming kicked in this year. I'm trying to say, nope, no. Look, here's, again, monthly mean global land ocean temperature index. We're getting hotter and hotter, guys. That's what climate change, global warming does. It gets hotter and hotter, right? What I'm talking about is exponential, huge spike. Huge spiky temperature. Here's a funny meme, just real quick. Humans wrap the nature in plastic. The nature hit back by wrapping humans in plastic. I thought that was good. Again, more Arctic sea surface temperatures. Here's climate change. Here's how climate change is progressing. But in all of these graphs, do you see a huge spike, like a huge spike in temperatures, Arctic sea surface temperatures, Arctic that's a big spike. Boom. There's a big spike. So that could indicate a pretty large spike. We'll put that in. We'll put that in the maybe in the possible global dimming column. Maybe we'll give global dimming a notch for this one. But global temperature 12-month running mean. Is there a huge spike? No. Did we lose? Did we lose? Atmospheric aerosols. Did we lose aerosol masking and get a huge spike in temperature, and the entire planet heated up very quickly? Just in a couple of months. Jacob Gordon, let's quit fossil fuels and aerosol emissions cold turkey and answer this question once for all. Well, so this is why I'm talking about this today, and we'll even go through some more evidence. Let's hold on one second. So here's Paul Beckwith. I want to bring in some other evidence and other voices, right? Not just me talking about whatever. This is from March 22nd. So in the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, Paul Beckwith put this out. Impact of coronavirus on global dimming. And he said on March 22nd, global dimming from industrial transportation aerosols is likely between 0.25 C and 1.1 C with a best estimate of 0.5 C. As global industry transportation shutters due to our coronavirus action, the clear sky is due to reduced pollution unmasking global dimming. My educated best guess. So he's guessing. This is March 22nd. Paul Beckwith guessing on what's going to happen with global dimming. My best guess on the size of the direct effect warming pulse is 0.25 C globally if half of industry shuts down, realized as a 0.5 C warming over land and a 0.125 C warming over the oceans. Maybe double these numbers with indirect effects from cloud changes, right? Cloud changes, and some clouds may be affected just by general particulates in the air, and I would have to add the clouds. There are clouds that jets produce, right? They're called contrails, but they are persistent. If you just open your eyes and watch jets fly over the skies and see that they produce clouds, and those clouds stay in the air and create cloud cover. You take jets out of the sky, then you take away those clouds, and that's also probably causing some kind of global dimming. My educated best guess on the size of... so I just read that. So he's saying at the beginning of the global pandemic... Did you guys see this at all? Sorry if you didn't. Now you're seeing it, but it's too late. I just read it, but whatever. He is saying we might see a 0.25, anywhere from 0.25 to 1 C. Did that happen? No, it did not happen. It did not happen. Arctic, TCR Galaxy, Arctic is 6.1 C today. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And that, but the thing is, TCR is that has been happening. That's not just this year. That's been happening for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Especially in the last 3 years, the Arctic has been, the temperature anomalies in the Arctic for the last few years has been wild. Has been very high. Here, let's go look at this. Let's look at the anomalies, for the Arctic. I have Zach Labe here. Arctic sea surface temperatures in October. This is from 1982. So, sea surface temperatures have been really high and going way up. But not just this year. This is a trend of climate change, not a trend of global dimming. And that's what I'm trying to say. When I say this, I've talked about it enough over the last few months, but I think now that we're in November 17th, it's been what? I'm going to count on my fingers. We'll go March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's been 8 months. It's been 8 months. No global dimming, guys. Sorry. So, the reason why I bring this up, the reason why I'm saying this, the reason why I'm talking about this, there is a point to all of this. And the point is, if you're saying we can't do anything if we can't stop emissions and try and tackle global warming or global heating, if we can't stop it because global dimming is going to fry the earth, well, 2020 proved that's wrong. You're wrong. We can stop emissions. If you're saying we can't go out and protest or try to organize or try to, stop the governments from destroying the earth or stop the corporate oligarchy, consortium, whatever you want to call it. We can't go out and stop these lunatics from destroying the planet. We can take our planet back. If you're saying we can't do that, because as soon as we do that, now there's another argument that, and this is, an argument that I actually feel is very valid, in that if industrial civilization collapses, or if the controlling powers aren't in place to keep, say nuclear reactors running, well, then that's an issue, right? That's a problem. And that's something to be concerned about, right? But the thing is that, and I'm saying all of this, with the full knowledge in mind. So if I think that if I think that climate change is 99% likely to take us over the cliff very soon in the next 5 years, right? Which I do think 99.999%. There's a 99.99% chance that climate change is going to take us over the cliff in the next 5 to 10 years, which I totally believe. The fact that, well, 2020 did two things for us. 2020 proved that there could be an organized global effort which produced a palpable, a serious drop in emissions, right? There was an organized effort to fight coronavirus, but the unintended effect of all of this organized effort to fight coronavirus was like, what happened? Oh, we dropped emissions by 17%. So wildly successful in the area of dropping emissions and fighting climate change, the fight against coronavirus. So 2020 proved that we can totally do that. We can totally have an organized response to climate change. That's doable. And B, global dimming didn't take us out. So we can drop emissions, on a serious level. We could probably do net zero very quickly in the next 10 years. If we were, if some, by some crazy reason humans decided to, evolve real fast. And by doing all of these things, we're not going to fry ourselves, immediately in the in the space of a year. We're not going to fry ourselves off the planet of the Earth. Do other things need to if we do that, if we brought down emissions that quickly, do other things need to happen in order to, control our spinning, continuing to spin into extinction? Of course, right? We would have to, I'm sure some level of global dimming would have to kick in, and we'd have to somehow control the even without global dimming, there's a temperature rise, right? Let's look at the temperature rise. Let's go ahead and do that. There's a temperature rise going on regardless, whether you want to talk about global dimming or not. So we're going to, even if we stop all emissions tomorrow or in the next 5 years, this thing is still going to keep going up. So we're going to have to deal with that. And that's a serious issue. And that's why I want to eventually get into talking about, discussing, casting about ideas, or maybe just enter the discussion of Walter Jane, Alan Savory, agricultural regeneration, regreening, rewilding, et cetera, the natural effects that possibly we could produce in order to, fight our spiraling off into, burning ourselves off the planet, which we're going to have to do. But the thing is, the hopeful thing, the one bit of hopium that I'm, this video is actually producing, is that, if we stop emissions really fast, we're not going to burn up due to global dimming. That's not true. That didn't happen. So, whatever is going on, of course, yes, people are going to bring up the fact that we had fires, we have particulates in the air. Of course we do. Let's look at some other things that are happening. Well, so let's look at this. Let's look at what's been happening with traffic, air traffic. September 29th, 2020, traffic forecast downgrade after dismal summer. So not only did air traffic go down to 90%, it stayed down, and it's still down. Airlines are suffering. Airlines are, saying they're about to go out of business if they don't get another loan from the government, or they don't get restructuring. International Air Transport Association downgraded its traffic forecast for 2020 to reflect a weaker than expected recovery. International, this is global, right? Or they're talking about, let me see, as evidenced by a dismal end of the summer travel season in the Northern Hemisphere. IATA now expects full year 2020 traffic to be down 66%. That's just air traffic. Air traffic down 66%. And at one point it was down 90%. Let me see. So a lot of big numbers here. Negative 91%, 82, 73, 69, 75. August international passenger demand plummeted 88.3% in August 2020. almost 90% in August. So air traffic has been down for months. Months. Where's this global dimming heat spike? Nada. June 2020 airline traffic down 67 million from 2019 in the month of June. Down 67 million passengers from like 90 million or something like that. From bad to worse, global air traffic should drop 60 to 70% in 2020. I think they're saying all of 2020. Global. So global air traffic goes down 60% to 70% in 2020. Where's the global dimming? Where's the spike? None spike. No spike. Of course, we have other factors, and I'd like to, at least be fair to the other factors. California faces record levels of air pollution due to wildfires. People have talked about the wildfires, but guys, when did Australia's big wildfire season happen? That would be last year, before coronavirus. Lots of pollution from then, and maybe there was already some cooling going on from those fires from last year. There was California had a huge wildfire season last year. The year before, California had a huge wildfire season. We've had huge wildfire seasons going for years. Australia, California, Europe. It's been ongoing. So maybe we're seeing some cooling from the particulates from all these fires. Sure. Possible. Basil Peterson says global shipping was up. Let's see if we can find something quick on that. I've got to end this video.